Corinne Canning, and I coordinate webinars for Harvard Summer School and the Harvard Division of Education. On behalf of Harvard Summer School's college programs for high school students, we're thrilled that you're joining us tonight. This evening, we hope to discuss our program offerings and prepare you for our summer 2025 application, which opens on December 2nd. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items to share with you. A recording of this webinar will be sent to the email that you used to register. The recording will also be accessible on our YouTube channel and on the event page you used to register for tonight's webinar. Please use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen to ask your questions. Our Harvard Summer School team will be working diligently to answer these questions within the Q&A feature itself, and they will also elevate appropriate questions to both our directors during our Q&A session. Finally, keep an eye on the chat feature where we'll be sharing key links throughout the presentation. Okay, so applications for our summer 2025 college programs for high school students will open on Monday, December 2nd, 2024. During tonight's event, we'll prepare you to successfully complete your application. First, we'll share what you can expect from your summer program at Harvard Summer School, diving into topics such as courses, campus life, and what you'll take away from this unique experience. Then we'll discuss the 3 program options we offer at Harvard Summer School: the 2-week non-credit pre-college program, the 4-week college credit secondary school program, and the 7-week college credit secondary school program. We'll also provide a brief overview of some of the key differences between those 3 options. Finally, we will outline our 2025 application process, including requirements and deadlines. And as a bonus for all of you joining us here tonight, we'll also give you a few insider tips for our applications. To conclude the session, we'll welcome Dr. Jacqueline Newcomb, the director of the pre-college program, and Mr. William Hollinger, the director of the secondary school program, to answer any questions you still have about the Harvard Summer School programs. So as a reminder, please put your questions in the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen, and we'll get to those at the end of our session. Now, it is my pleasure to share that we have the Dean of the Harvard Summer School here with us this evening to personally welcome you. Dean Sandra Naddaff is a guiding force in fostering academic innovation and community at Harvard. Welcome, Dean Naddaff.
Right. Well, welcome, everybody. Thank you so much, Corinne. Welcome, everybody, and good evening from Cambridge. My name is Sandra Naddaff, and I am indeed the Dean of the Harvard Summer School. I also teach in the Department of Comparative Literature at the college, and I am really, really pleased to welcome you tonight to this information webinar on the Harvard Summer School high school programs. The mission of the Harvard Summer School is to extend the resources of Harvard University, its faculty and libraries, its labs and museums, its residential facilities and campus, to those who might not otherwise have the chance to study here. You will hear in the course of this evening's presentation the multiple ways in which you can participate in the summer school as a high school student. But however you choose to attend, whether you commute or take courses online or live on campus, whether you apply to the pre-college program or the secondary school program, whether you're here for 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 7 weeks, it is for me the academic experience that is at the heart of what we do. And that is what I'd like to speak briefly about this evening. This is a particularly exciting moment for me in our academic planning cycle. We completed last week the full list of courses we will offer in summer 2025. And in a few weeks, on December 3rd to be exact, I will present that list to the full Harvard Faculty of Arts and Sciences for approval. This year, we will be offering around 500 courses, many of which are taught by Harvard or Harvard-affiliated faculty, or by visiting scholars from across the country and around the globe. We model our curriculum on the Harvard undergraduate curriculum and offer a full array of courses in the liberal arts, in many fields and disciplines which are not available in a usual high school curriculum. My favorite part of any information session is pointing out a few of our remarkable courses, though it's always almost impossible to decide which ones to highlight. So here are just a few, but promise me, please, that you won't just take my word for it and you will investigate further. So consider the chemistry course, Quantum Statistical and Computational Foundations of Chemistry, which introduces you to fundamental theories of quantum mechanics and statistical mechanics and their role in governing the behavior of matter. This course is taught by the director of the Advanced Undergraduate Laboratories at Harvard, and it is a 4-week course, I believe. Or maybe think about the comparative literature course, a course from my own department, Poetry Without Borders, which studies the cultural practice of poetry with an emphasis on contemporary poetry, taught by my dear colleague and quite wonderful teacher in the Slavic department, Professor Stephanie Sandler. How about a math course on the mathematics of democracy, which will look at the variety of questions that use mathematics to consider issues that impact democracy? Questions like, how can a candidate in a political race win the majority of votes but lose the election? This course is taught by a professor of mathematics at Wellesley College. These are some of the Harvard College credit-bearing courses for students interested in the secondary school program, which offers both 4 and 7 week sessions for students who want to live on campus, take a course online, or commute to campus from nearby. But for those of you who are interested in our wonderful and rigorous 2-week non-credit residential pre-college program, we have an equally impressive array of courses. So here are a few examples from the pre-college program. There is the biology course on atypical brains from autism to Alzheimer's, which explores how variations in brain function give rise to atypical behavior and investigates the symptoms, brain alterations, and potential causes of neurodivergent traits such as autism. This course is taught by a postdoc in the Department of Neurobiology at the Harvard Medical School. Consider the government course on ballots and Bibles, scriptures in American politics, which pays special attention to the tradition of American political public speaking and covers a diverse range of religions and scriptures as well. This course is taught by a doctoral candidate in Harvard's American Civilization program. Or how about this one? This is a course I would love to take, a classics course titled Family Drama, Crime, Destiny, and Tragic Kinship, which focuses on some of the most notoriously dysfunctional families in Greek tragedy, families of Heracles, Medea, Oedipus, and Agamemnon, and traces that concept through to their modern-day incarnation in the film The Godfather. This is taught by a preceptor in Harvard's expository writing program. I truly could go on, but I've been asked to keep my remarks brief, so I'm going to stop here. These are just a few, really a very few of the rigorous, exciting courses that distinguish the Harvard Summer School curriculum. I encourage you, and in fact, I urge you, please, to spend time reading through the entire list of courses to see the vast array of intellectual riches that might await you. Reach into areas that pique your curiosity or stretch your academic and intellectual boundaries. Discover something new, change your mind. It might well be the start of a transformative experience, and who knows, it might just change your life. So I'm going to turn this webinar now over to my colleagues, but before I do, let me thank you once again for joining us this evening and say how much I look forward to welcoming you next summer to the Harvard Summer School.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Dean Nada. That presentation was incredible, and I already am so excited to take a look at more of those courses that you mentioned. Those are wonderful, wonderful options. Thank you as well to all of our attendees who joined us tonight. We really appreciate you setting aside the time to be here with us as we share everything you need to know before you apply to Harvard Summer School. Before we dive into the details, we'd love to hear from you. Where are you joining us from? There is a poll that should have popped up on your screen, and I see that a few people have already started to answer us. And wow, we've got some people from literally everywhere, so that's fantastic. We'll close that out in a few seconds. I do want you all to know that here at Harvard Summer School, we're fortunate to boast a diverse global community of ambitious and curious students, just like you. In fact, last year we had students from 96 countries and 49 states and territories in our programs. So looks like the poll results are in. We're going to close that now. So thank you all so much for sharing. We're glad that you were all able to join us here tonight in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where the Harvard Summer School is located, of course. So let's start with the question you're probably all asking yourselves this evening. and that is why Harvard Summer School. So at Harvard Summer School, you get the chance to test out an Ivy League college education experience before you have to make your actual college decision. As a Harvard College student, as a Harvard Summer School student, you'll enroll in a Harvard College course taught by Harvard faculty or esteemed visiting faculty, as Dean Naddaff just mentioned. The work is rigorous, as you'd imagine from Harvard, and you should expect to be challenged. At the end of your summer with us, you'll be able to put Harvard on your college application. Completing a college course, especially a Harvard College course, while still in high school proves that you can succeed at the top academic level. Your summer at Harvard will expose you to new challenges, which could be the compelling subject of your college application essay. You'll receive help with that while you're here. We organize college preparation events for our students, like panel discussions with college admissions officers, workshops on writing college applications, and so much more. You also get to join an intellectual community. Our former students consistently share how much the friendships that they make here mean to them. You get the unique chance to be amongst students from around the world. As I alluded to previously, last year we had students from every continent besides Antarctica. And that global community is all here because they're passionate about academic exploration, just like you. While you're at Harvard Summer School, you'll also get to explore. Harvard Summer School, learning at Harvard Summer School happens both inside and outside of the classroom. If you choose a residential program, Cambridge, Massachusetts is a wonderful location in a diverse metropolitan area. It's steps away from the start of American history, and it's near Boston Harbor and Cape Cod. So whether it's a scavenger hunt in Harvard Yard, going on a duck boat tour, or just hanging out with new friends from around the world, you'll get to figure out what excites you. We'll give you lots of chances to try new things. In addition to our college admissions programming, we offer a variety of activities, both in person and virtually, so that all of our students can participate, including life skills workshops, volunteering opportunities, and health and wellness activities. For me to tell you that you're supported. Whether your chosen program is online or in person, Harvard's instructors and teaching assistants have office hours, and they are available if you need help grasping a concept from class. If you need help with a paper, you can talk to a tutor at the Writing Center. If you need research support, our librarians are experts at finding the information you need. Perhaps most importantly, each residential program has staff proctors. They're college students who work for our programs that are dedicated to being a consistent point of contact for our students every day. Harvard Summer School also allows you to become independent. When you go to college, things like time management, asking for help, and getting enough sleep are frankly all essential skills that you'll need to succeed. Each day here is yours to manage, exactly like it will be in college, which will make your transition to college life easier later on. We want to note, particularly for our parents and guardians in the room, but also for our future students as well, that we have measures in place to help keep you safe while you're here. Each student living on campus will receive and is required to use a Harvard ID to gain access to housing and other buildings on our campus, which have restricted access to only those within the Harvard community. Our programs will have staff who get to know our students and serve as resources and mentors. And finally, while you're here at Harvard Summer School, you'll belong. For the duration of your program, you are a Harvard student. If you select an online or commuting program, you'll find the Harvard community is ready to welcome you with open arms. If you choose a residential program, you'll move into the same dorms that Harvard College students live in during the academic year, and you'll have everything you need to make Harvard feel like home for the summer. A meal plan is included in the program costs. You can walk to the dining hall with classmates after class, hop in for a quick breakfast before you go study in Harvard. In Harvard's Widener Library, take a walk around Harvard Square. So many little things around here that are just part of student life. You also have access to Harvard recreational facilities. So if working out is part of your routine, you can swim, you can lift weights, you can take a group class, you can kayak down the down the Charles River, and all of that's included in your program cost. So before we kind of jump into our program options and offerings, let's see if everyone is still with me. That was a lot of information all at once. So share with us, what are you most excited about getting out of Harvard Summer School? So this is kind of an open-ended question. We're going to give a little bit of time for people. We have some answers coming in, but we're definitely going to give you some time to think about that and think it through. As you saw in the past 2 slides, you can explore both inside and outside the classroom while you're here at Harvard You get to experience Harvard academics. You can put Harvard on your college application. You'll join this diverse community of students from all over the world. And we have college preparation activities that are unmatched. So if you haven't answered yet, take your time. We'll leave this question open as we continue our presentation. So next big question is, which program is right for me? We'll give you an overview of the different programs we offer at Harvard Summer School. I want to note, and this is very important, you can only apply to one program. So you'll want to decide which program works best for you before you start your application. At Harvard Summer School, for our high school students, we offer 3 program options. The first option is our 7-week secondary school program, which will run from June 21st to August 9th. Our 4-week secondary school program, which will run from July 13th to August 8th. And our 2-week pre-college program. We offer 3 sessions of our pre-college program across the summer. The 2025 sessions are June 22nd through July 3rd, July 6th through July 18th, and July 20th through August 1st. It is also important to note the format of each program option. For our 7-week secondary school program, there are 3 flexible format options. First, you can do residential, where you live on campus. There's online, where you'll participate from home and take online courses. Or you can commute to campus, living nearby or at home, and coming to campus for class and more activities. On the other hand, our 4-week secondary school program and our 2-week pre-college program are both fully residential and require you to live on Harvard's campus. Each program also has its own courses to choose from. The secondary school program has courses that are taken for academic credit and a letter grade. Students who attend the residential version of our 7-week secondary school program must take 2 courses, earning 8 credits. However, online and commuting students can elect to take 1 or 2 courses. Our secondary school program students can select from over 200 college credit courses in topics such as ethics, economics, neuroscience, and so much more. We also offer specially designed, focused pathways of studies in key topic areas such as computer science and engineering, or medical sciences and ethics, where you'll dive into a deep topic, taking 2 courses in that topic area. You can alternatively choose to take a career pathway course where you explore a career that you might want to pursue in the future, such as journalism in the digital age, which is very timely. In our 4-week secondary school program, you take 1 4-credit course. In order to get through the material and earn your college credit, you'll be in class for 2.5 hours, 4 days a week. This allows you the time to connect with your peers, your instructors, and the special guest speakers who are brought into the class. Please do note that for this 4-week program, we will offer a curated list of 20 to 25 courses. Last but not least, in our pre-college program, you take 1 non-credit course that will cover a semester of information in just 2 weeks. This means you get to experience the expectations of college academics without the pressure of grades. Again, there will be 3 sessions of the 2-week pre-college program in 2025, and each session will have roughly 40 courses to choose from. The pre-college program students take 1 course over their 2-week session. However, once you're admitted, if you would like to enroll in an additional 2nd or 3rd session of the pre-college program, you may do so, and you'll take a different course in that session. I do want to note that the 2025 course catalog for all programs will be available on our website in late January, but if you'd like to get an idea of the courses available in each program, you can reference the 2024 course catalog on our website. We will be dropping a link in the chat with some of those course offerings now. Okay, so we covered lots there, but of course you won't spend all of your time in class. As I mentioned earlier, Harvard Summer School organizes activities that students from all of our programs can participate in and enjoy, such as movie nights and excursions, which in the past have included trips to the Museum of Fine Arts, the Red Sox games, duck boat tours, and trips to Martha's Vineyard. So aside from those open access activities, we also have special activities for each program. Our 7-week and 4-week secondary school program offer a range of online and on-campus activities. So no matter how you attend, you can participate in some activities. Activities in the 7-week and 4-week programs are completely optional, so it is up to you if you choose to participate. However, students are encouraged to take the activities because they give you the opportunity to connect with your peers based on common interests. Online and on-campus activities for the secondary school programs in the past have included open mic nights, college admissions panels, musical theater listening parties, dances, a talent show, music bingo, which is a fan favorite here, college visits, and college counseling sessions. On the other hand, our 2-week pre-college program includes a passport program, which requires students to complete activities in the 4 courses of their activity passport. The pre-college program students will select and attend 2 academic exploration sessions, such as a discussion with Harvard scholars, 2 college readiness workshops, such as time management for success, 2 social and residential activities, like a talent show or the pre-college dance, and 2 trips in recreational activities that allow you to explore the surrounding areas of Boston, like a trip to spooky Salem, Massachusetts, or a historic Newport, Rhode Island. All of our pre-college students must complete the requirements during their 2 weeks to pass the program. Next, it is important to note that there are eligibility requirements to meet before you apply to one of our programs, both in terms of age and year in school. Our programs require that you are at least 16 years old by June 21st, 2025, and will not turn 19 years old before July 31st, 2025. For the secondary school programs, you must graduate high school in 2025, 2026, or 2027. So in the US, you would be a sophomore, junior, or senior when you apply. To be eligible for our pre-college program, you must graduate from high school in 2026 or 2027. In the US, that means you would be in your sophomore or junior year of high school when you apply. Unfortunately, we do not make exceptions to the age or graduation year requirements due to the rigor of our programs. Please also note that there are visa requirements for international students, which vary by program. We will drop a link in the chat with more information for you to reference if that applies to you. And finally, we have cost. Our 7-week secondary school program cost is $14,950 for residential, which includes tuition for 2 courses, as well as room and meals and activities. Commuting or online students will pay either $4,050 for 1 course or $7,900 if taking 2. Our 4-week secondary school program cost is $8,650, which includes tuition for 1 course, room and activities, and meals. And our pre-college program cost is $5,800. This includes tuition, room and meals, and activity costs for the 2-week session. Please also do note that for all of our programs, we have a non-refundable $75 application fee when you submit your application. Need-based financial aid and scholarships are available for students who demonstrate financial aid and need. However, students must be US citizens, permanent residents, or have DACA status. Scholarships typically cover either 25%, 50%, 75%, or 100% of program costs. Please note that travel to and from the program and spending money while you're here are not included in the scholarship funds. Okay, that was a lot of information all at once. So before we jump into the application deadlines and tips, let's do a quick trivia question as a brain break. The Widener Library pictured here is Harvard's flagship library. It is one of the largest libraries in the United States and is considered one of the 5 mega libraries worldwide. It houses over 20 million holdings, which include 3.5 million books on site and 3 million off site. It boasts over 450 works in 450 languages, as well as a Gutenberg Bible. So the question is, how many miles of shelves run through Widener Library? Is it 87 miles, 67 miles, 57 miles, or 47 miles? And I see we're coming in fast and furious. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds in case you're not as speedy as some of our other participants. No worries there. We're very proud of the Widener Library. It is just such a beautiful building. Awesome. I'll give you guys a few more seconds to answer. Okay, we're gonna close out the poll. And the correct answer was C, 57 miles. Harvard's Widener Library contains over 57 miles of shelves, which is 5 miles of aisles and over 10 levels of space. It is an absolutely beautiful and awe-inspiring place. And please keep in mind that as a Harvard Summer School student, you will have access to Harvard's Widener Library and all of its incredible resources. Okay, thank you all for playing trivia with me real quick. So now let's move on to our applications. We're going to discuss application requirements, deadlines, and a few insider tips for a successful 2025 application, which opens again on December 2nd. I'd like to now welcome Dr. Newcomb, Director of the Pre-College Program, and Mr. Hollinger, Director of the Secondary School Program, to discuss our application requirements and to share their advice with you. So please help me welcome them.
Thanks so much, Ms. Canning. The first application requirement is, of course, the online application itself. You can apply to only one program, as Ms. Canning mentioned earlier, so you'll choose either the 7-week secondary school program application, the 4-week secondary school program application, or the 2-week pre-college program application. Each application includes several short essay questions as well as some demographic data that you'll need to supply. Our applications open on December 2nd, just a few weeks away, and we're really looking forward to reading many, many of them from you all over the world. Please keep in mind that you should complete your application on a desktop computer. We recommend that you do not use a smartphone or even a tablet. In addition to the application itself, we require several supplementary materials, one of those being the counselor report. In the application, you will provide the name and email address of your guidance counselor, a college counselor, or your school head, and a link will be sent to them to submit your counselor report. Please remember, these folks are very, very busy, so we recommend that you ask them as early as possible and let them know when the application deadline is. We also require transcripts. You will upload your transcript, including grades from 9th grade through the fall of this fall of 2024. Acceptable documents include progress reports, report cards, or educational summaries from your high school. If you have or are currently attending an international school, your transcript must be translated into English. Please also provide the transcript in the original language to us. You will also need to review the rules and media release form as part of your application and provide your parent or guardian's email address. They will then receive an email with a link to the rules and media form for themselves to complete. There's also the non-refundable $75 application fee, which will be due when you submit your application. Finally, if English is not your first language, we do require you to take and submit your scores from an English proficiency test, such as the TOEFL, IBT, the IELTS academic, or Duolingo English language test. We have more information about these on our website. But just so you know, successful applicants typically score above 103 on the TOEFL with a 25 or above on the written section, a 7.5 or above on the IELTS with a 7 or above on the written section of that, or at least 135 score on the Duolingo test. Please note that we must receive all of your application materials by the deadline for us to consider your application. We review everything at one time. You can keep track of whether or not you've received each item in your application portal, and you should also check your inbox regularly for email from us. All right, next slide, please. Speaking of deadlines, I have a few key dates and reminders for you all. I suggest you take a screenshot of this page right here and put these dates right on your calendar. There are several important dates to keep in mind for 2025. As I said earlier, starting with the first date of our application open, which will be December 2nd. It's a Monday. The first deadline of our early application is on January 8th, 2025 at 11:59 Eastern Time, 11:59 p.m., so just before it hits midnight. This is also the priority need-based scholarship deadline. So if you're applying for financial aid, you should be sure to fill out that section of the application and submit everything by January 8th. The second deadline is our regular application deadline, February 12th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. It's very important to note that February 12th is the final deadline to apply for need-based financial aid, And it's also the last day for international students to apply if they need an I-20 from Harvard to attend the secondary school as a residential or commuter student. After this February 12th deadline, there are rolling admissions into our program, if there are spots still available. The last application deadline, which is your absolutely final chance to apply, is April 9th, 2025. I do want to emphasize that this late application date only applies if space is still available. Last year, our programs were nearly filled by the regular application deadline of February 12th. Please note that if you are admitted to one of our programs, you have 2 weeks from the date of your acceptance to respond to our offer. And I'd like to encourage my colleague, Mr. Hollinger, to tell you why it's important to apply early.
Thank you, Dr. Newcomb. And thanks to you all for being here. Now that you know our application requirements and some of our deadlines, let me ask you, what is the absolute best advice I can give you regarding the application? It's this: apply early. Why apply early? First, our programs have limited space. Second, they're very competitive. And third, applying early gives you the best chance of being admitted. There are so many benefits to applying early. It allows you time to review your application, time to follow up with your counselor and your parent or guardian about the supplemental materials. It allows you time to reflect thoughtfully on your short essays and review and rewrite and edit and polish those essays. One of our former students, whose name is Max and who spent 2 summers with us, told us he took more than 2 weeks to work on early drafts of his essays. He spent that time thinking about the best angle, rewriting, revising, and then editing some more. You probably won't need a month to work on your essays. However, to complete the entire application, we do recommend a week or more so that you will have ample time to gather all the required information and materials. Another reason to apply early: students admitted from the early application deadline register for their classes first. So if there's a topic you love or a specific course you want to take, applying early nearly assures you of getting into that course before it fills up. Finally, for U.S. citizens, permanent residents, and DACA qualified students, need-based financial aid is awarded on a first-come, first-served basis, and our financial aid budget is limited. Also, the financial aid window closes after the regular application deadline of February 12th. Let me repeat that. If you want to apply for financial aid, be sure to complete your application. If not in the early session, or rather the early application period, certainly before February 12th. There you have it. I can't say it enough. Apply early, apply early, apply early.
That is fantastic advice, Bill. Thank you so much for that. I think you all heard it from Bill himself. Apply early. So now that you've heard that and the rest of the details about our offerings and our application process, I'd like to welcome both Dr. Newcomb and Dr. William Hollinger to join us for a live Q&A session. So thank you for being here with us. And thank you to all of you who've been submitting your questions in the Q&A feature. We've compiled them into some topics that we'll go over tonight. And please continue to send those questions in. We'll keep monitoring that Q&A with our team. So Dr. Newcomb, Mr. Hollinger, thank you so much for joining us.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. We are so excited that you were able to be here with us and answer all of our questions live. And I know our attendees are looking forward to hearing more from you on your thoughts. So for our first question, we will start with Dr. Newcomb and then we'll pass it over to you, Mr. Hollinger. So our first question is, what makes an application stand out in a good way?
Oh, I love that you said in a good way. I think it's really important that students tell us who they are. We want to hear about you and your experience and not what generative AI says about you. So ChatGPT is not welcome in our application process. Really, an essay stands out when we feel like we've really gotten to know you. Why do you want to study at Harvard? What do you want to study? And what are you looking for this summer? I think also we're looking for applicants who are going to get here and have a good experience. So if you've never taken a higher level course, it's going to be challenging for you to take an entire semester course in 2, 4, or 7 weeks. It's important that you're taking the most rigorous coursework available to you at your current high school. And of course, Mr. Hollinger and I understand that not all high schools will offer honors or IB or even AP level courses. The admissions committee will take that into consideration. However, if they do offer those highest level courses at your own school and you're not taking advantage of them, it will be really challenging for you to do well in these programs.
Thank you for that, Dr. Newcomb. Those are really great points. Mr. Hollinger, is there anything that you'd like to add about what would make an application stand out positively?
Thanks, Ms. Canning. I'm dying to add the word authentic. Be authentic. Let us know who you really are. And what I said a few moments ago about applying early, do you remember that when I said applying early? Even before the early deadline in January, that's still true. Make an effort to turn in all of your materials ahead of the listed deadlines. Remember also that your counselor must fill out a portion of your application, and so must your parent or guardian. So make sure others are doing their part and that they too submit their materials before the deadlines arrive.
That's such a great point, Mr. Hollinger. Thank you. On that same note, we've got a couple of questions in the chat. I'm going to combine them. So what kind of essay questions can I expect on this application, and what are you looking for in those essay questions? Mr. Hollinger, if we could start with you since I have you.
Sure. So we're going to ask you what you want to study this summer. The 2025 course catalog won't be available until late January, but you don't have to know the exact course you want to take. Instead, give us an understanding of the subject matter you're interested in and why. You may want to build on your prior knowledge in a subject. You might want to come here and try something new or take a class in a subject you've recently become interested in. Read through the course descriptions of last year or later on of 2025 and consider your interests and goals for the summer. The other essay questions are there so that we get to know you a bit better. Going back to what I said about being authentic, we want to know about the whole person. The essays are where you can show us more than just what's on your transcript. The essays are where you get to shine. And listen, please proofread. We'll be looking for well-written essays. Check for any sort of typos or grammatical errors. As Dr. Newcomb likes to suggest, you might have a friend read over your essays. Put a second set of eyes on them because we're looking for good original writing.
That is fantastic. Yeah, definitely. We could all use an editor. That's for sure. And Dr. Newcomb, while we're on the subject of you, do you have anything that you want to add in terms of what you're looking for in essay responses?
Yes, I would say, our admissions committee, we're going to read thousands and thousands of applications. So we don't need you to write us a book. In fact, there's a character limit. So be careful if you're copying and pasting from Word, that it doesn't cut off in the middle of your essay. You can't imagine how many times we see that. And it just tells us that you didn't proofread before you submitted your application. Or sometimes students will paste the essays into the wrong boxes. So I'll get the answer to essay 2 and essay 3. That just shows me that you're not really taking the time to proofread and make sure your application is really ready. 1 or 2 good paragraphs is ideal for us. If you can write 1 or 2 succinct and thoughtful paragraphs, that's all we need.
That is really great points. Attention to detail and brevity. I love that. Mr. Hollinger, I know that you mentioned one of the essay questions asked about the courses that they're interested in. We had a couple questions come into the Q&A about what course subject matters are often offered in our programs. I think Dean Nada shared a few, but can you share a little bit more about our offerings, kind of keeping in mind that people can also look at our 2024 offerings for reference and inspiration until our course catalog launches in late January?
Sure. Thanks, Ms. Canning. I thought Dean Nadab did a great job of talking about the courses, the amazing courses that we offer here at Harvard Summer School. The 2025 course catalog will be available in late January. And looking through that, through the one from last summer, gives you a good gauge on what courses will be offered. And the courses do vary among the programs. You'll be able to use a search feature to search pre-college program courses by session and secondary school program courses by term and by course format. That is, whether it's online or offered here on campus. We offer a huge variety of courses in the liberal arts, including the sciences. Speaking more specifically about the SSP, the secondary school program, we have many courses to choose from in subjects like biology, public speaking, chemistry, writing, government, computer science, environmental studies, pre-med, history, and much more. Our most popular courses last year were actually in economics. So if you're interested in micro or macroeconomics, trade, finance, even accounting, this is a good program for you. The courses really range widely. For the 7-week secondary school program session, there are over 200 course offerings to choose from. And in the 4-week SSP this year, they're going to be a more curated, intimate set of 20 to 25 select courses. Keep in mind, when you apply to a program, you're not applying to a specific course, and you'll have time to change your mind, but you should have an idea of what you want to do.
Great. That's awesome. And Dr. Newcomb, could you tell us a bit more about the offerings for the pre-college program?
Yes, I'd love to. I'm really excited about our course offerings. I just finished accepting all of our courses for the pre-college program, and I've accepted about 30 brand new courses. And then there's, of course, 75 or so that ran last year that will also be running again. If the course is very popular, I'll offer it more than once. For example, there are 3 courses that we have that run in all 3 sessions because they're so popular. Constitutional Law, Civil Rights and Civil Liberties, a course on cancer research, and Speaking with Passion, Power, and Purpose. They each run 3 times. So it doesn't matter which session you're coming in, you'll be able to take a course, space permitting, of course. Most pre-college courses are seminar style, and they're all on campus. Our smallest course could have as few as 6 students, and our largest course will only be 24 people. So our liberal arts courses really feature all of our courses are really based on the liberal arts curriculum here at Harvard, and they feature subjects that are typically not offered in your high school, such as neuroscience, astrophysics, and philosophy. I'm really excited about our courses this summer, and I am offering 3 new courses on quantum computing and the physics around that and the computer science around that. So, that's just really exciting. My favorite part of my job is really getting to select the Harvard affiliated instructors who are going to be teaching in the pre-college program.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Thank you both. I've been reading so many student testimonials from the past couple of summers, and it really seems that regardless of the course topic or the program, there's such a wide variety of subjects, and our students all have an equally successful and fabulous experience in their courses. So we have a really well-rounded group of offerings here for you all. I'm very excited to see what our 2025 course catalog has available. While I have you, Dr. Newcomb, can you talk about what the courses are like in each program? Maybe you can share some details on the credit versus non-credit experience.
Sure. So as we said before, pre-college courses are non-credit. They're available only to pre-college students. So everyone in your class will be in your program. And we focus on learning for learning's sake. So there's no letter grades. You'll be in class Monday through Friday for 3 hours a day. And you'll have 2 to 4 hours of homework every night. Classes meet at either 8:30, noon, or 3:15, Monday through Friday. And one of the most important pieces of the pre-college program is that you have to attend every class in its entirety to be eligible to receive a passing grade. So no coming in late or leaving early. You'll also do nearly a semester of work in those 2 weeks. It's pretty intensive, but it's fun, it's enjoyable, because you're with other students who have the same passion for learning as you do. And I think that's so important. All students in the pre-college program live on campus, and they also attend co-curricular events as part of their residential experience. So Mr. Hollinger, can you talk about the credit-bearing 4 and the 7-week pre-college, secondary school program options, not pre-college?
Sure. Thanks, Dr. Newcomb. So in the secondary school program, you'll be taking courses with adult learners, including college students, maybe graduate students. So that's a bit of a different experience from the pre-college experience. For our 4-week program, you'll take one 4-credit course. That is for 2.5 hours, 4 days a week, and all 4-week courses are on campus in person. Then for the 7-week program, we have 3 different modes of attendance. If you're residential, you would enroll in 8 credits, which is usually 2 4-credit courses. And if you commute to campus, or if you're attending online, you can enroll in either 4 credits or 8 credits. That is, you can take 1 or 2 courses, although there are also a few intensive 8-credit courses, such as some beginning language courses, where you get a full year's worth of material in just 7 weeks. In the 7-week program, 4-credit courses meet for 2.5 hours, 2 days a week, and 8-credit courses meet for 3 hours, 5 days a week. You can expect to spend an additional 2 or 3 hours on homework and studying each day. All the courses are challenging, they're intensive. You're fitting in the material covered in a regular semester, 4 credits, or from an entire year in for 8 credits, fitting all that material into the 7-week summer term.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you both for that really thorough explanation of that time commitment and the schedule for these programs. I think that's going to help our students kind of decide which is right for them and what they can fit with their other obligations. So actually, Dr. Newcomb, along those lines, once a student receives their response and their offer from us, how quickly do they need to confirm that they will be attending their Harvard Summer School program?
Oh, thanks for asking this. This is really important. So once you receive your admission decision, we do ask that you let us know within 2 weeks of getting that decision if you'll be attending the program. And that's 2 weeks from when we release the decision, not when you actually open the email to see that there's a decision in our portal. So for early acceptance, that's going to be Tuesday, February 18th. And for regular applications, that'll be March 25th. And then for anyone in our late application process, we'll start sending out decisions on a rolling basis, beginning just after March 11th. Usually it takes us a few weeks to start reading those. We'll send you an email letting you know to log in and go see that admissions decision. And from that point, you'll just have those 2 weeks in that, just have a 2-week window. If you don't respond within those 2 weeks, we'll assume you're not attending, you're going to another program, you have another summer obligation, and we'll just decline the offer on your behalf. So if you do figure out on the day after that email, oh, the deadline was yesterday, just contact us. If you decide or you want to change your mind later, after those 2 weeks have gone, just send us an email. If there's space available, we will be happy to reoffer your admissions into the program. But I have to put a big caveat on that, space allowing. So our programs do fill really quickly. If you really, really want to accept your offer within those 2 weeks, that's really the only way to guarantee your spot. And again, as Mr. Hollinger keeps saying, apply early. Last year, some of our programs were completely filled before we started reading regular decisions. So get those apps in as soon as you can.
Wow, yeah, really, really excellent advice. And thank you very much for clarifying that, Dr. Newcomb. Now it looks like we have a question for Mr. Hollinger, actually. For international students, what visa support does Harvard Summer School offer?
Of course, thanks. So for most international students, you'll need an F1 student visa to attend the secondary school program as a residential or commuting student. F1 student visas are required for participation in full-time undergraduate credited in-person courses. which both the 4-week and the 7-week secondary school programs offer. If admitted into the 4-week program or the 7-week program as a residential or commuting student, you'll need to meet a few additional deadlines and requirements to be issued an I-20 from the Harvard Summer School. The Form I-20 is a document that proves you were accepted into a program and are eligible to apply for an F1 student visa. After receiving your Form I-20 from Harvard, you would use that document to apply for the F1 visa at a U.S. embassy or consulate in your home country. If you're interested in applying to either of these programs and would require visa sponsorship, you must apply no later than February 12th, 2025, the international student deadline. If applying to the 7-week program as an online student, you have until the late application deadline to apply because you would not require any visa sponsorship as an online student. For the pre-college program, that is the 2-week non-credit program, because the program does not offer credit-bearing courses, international students need only obtain a tourist visa, that's a B1 or B2 visa, or an ESTA visa waiver to attend.
Perfect. Thank you so much for clarifying that. I know that was a lot of information kind of all at once. So as a reminder, please check out our website for international students for more information regarding these policies. We dropped a link to that page in the chat earlier. So if you just kind of scroll up, you'll be able to find it. Or if you just search for international students on our Harvard Summer School website, you'll be able to locate that. So we have just about 3 more questions for both of you this evening. So if you have questions, drop them in the Q&A feature. I can't believe this evening has just kind of flown by. Dr. Newcomb, who is eligible to receive need-based financial aid scholarships? And in that same vein, does applying for a scholarship impact someone's ability to enter the program or their chance for getting admitted?
Sure. Yeah. So thanks for asking again. These are such great questions. Thanks for providing them in the chat, in the Q&A feature to all the people watching. Of course, need-based financial aid scholarships are very important to us. It's a big part of what we do here in the Harvard Summer School. Unfortunately, we only offer the need-based scholarships to U.S. citizens and permanent residents at this time. And if you're a U.S. citizen or permanent resident who's currently living abroad, you are still eligible to apply for a need-based scholarship. DACA recipients are also eligible, but you'll need to contact us to apply so we can send you a different form. Our admissions process is need blind. So when Mr. Hollinger and I and our admissions committees are reading applications, we don't make our decisions based on whether or not you've applied for financial aid. In fact, we don't see any of that material. So it's a completely separate process. And just like many undergraduate institutions, the Harvard Summer School high school programs do not look at what you can pay before we make a decision on your application.
So thank you so much, Dr. Newcomb, for clarifying that. I think that's going to be really valuable information for a lot of our attendees here tonight. Okay, it looks like we have another great question here. Mr. Hollinger, if I can ask this of you, what should a student do if they're in the middle of applying and have a question about the application?
Oh, wow. Good one. I couldn't say this strongly enough. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. Write us an email, call us. More on that later. A key takeaway from the Harvard Summer School is learning how to navigate the college admissions process. And that means admitting when you need help and getting comfortable with asking for help. Applying to our programs can be nearly as much of a learning experience as attending one of our programs. So take advantage of the support our program staff can provide now so you're ready when it's time to apply to colleges in the future. We want to help you.
Absolutely. I can totally attest that our Harvard Summer School team is so kind and so helpful. So not to, bullshit you about that, but it's worth it. So now for our last question, and Mr. Hollinger, I'll start with you if that's okay, because I have you. What makes Harvard Summer School programs for high school students stand out? Why should students come here?
Good question with a good answer. It's a simple answer, it's Harvard. During the weeks you're here, whether it's 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 7 weeks, you are a Harvard student. You have access to all the resources of this great university, libraries, museums, athletic facilities, and best of all, its faculty. This is a truly wonderful university which deserves its reputation and earns it every day. And I think what also makes the summer experience here stand out is the academic support in place for our high school students. Tutors, success coaches, panels and workshops on study skills and on the college admissions process. You're able to exercise your academic chops in a safe and supportive setting. The faculty who are here teaching in the summer love to teach. They love their subjects, and they really appreciate the students, and particularly, I would say, the high school students who come here in the summer. You get to study and socialize with others, other high school students, other colleagues of yours, compatriots who are as smart and as motivated as you are. For the secondary school program, you receive a Harvard transcript at the end of the summer with letter grades and college credits. And you've learned so much over the summer: how to be independent, manage your time, study in groups with your peers, and take a deep dive into one or two particular academic subjects. You'll be able to use your Harvard transcript as you apply to college, and after you matriculate, almost certainly you can apply those credits toward your undergraduate degree. And I think the other thing that makes it really special, and I say this for all of our programs, is you're getting to see what happens at a real college. You get to test things out and see what you like: courses, faculty, staff, everything. If you're attending the residential program, you're living in Harvard dorms. For the SSP, we're living in Harvard Yard. You're going to go to Annenberg Dining Hall for meals in Memorial Hall, and you get to see if you love that. Do you want to go to a college in an urban setting? I mean, maybe you're like, I don't like this at all. There are buses and trolleys and the subway and stuff. And that's really a great lesson to learn before you apply to college. Maybe after being here, you want to look for a smaller school in a more rural setting, or maybe you want to commute to college or study entirely online. So I think that by attending a program at Harvard, you'll get to see what you're interested in, and that'll help you a lot when you're applying to colleges to get your undergraduate degree.
I think that's such a great point, Mr. Hollinger. You get to find out data and information both about yourself and who you are and what you want to be as a college student, but also the academic environment you want to be in and surrounded in during that college experience while you're here at Harvard Summer School. So thank you so much. That was such a great point. So to conclude, Dr. Newcomb, I want to throw the question to you. Why should students join us at Harvard Summer School?
So I too am biased toward Harvard. I created the Harvard pre-college program when I came to Harvard in 2014. 2025 will be our 11th summer. It went by so quickly. And I'm so proud of the fact that the pre-college program focuses on learning for learning's sake, learning both inside and outside of the classroom. When I founded the program, it was my goal to really create a space where students do not have the pressure of the letter grade. You know, there's so much pressure on students in high schools. And instead, they're able to just explore an academic discipline that they're passionate about. Or if they don't know what they're passionate about, the program allows them to try several things. If you attend a pre-college program, you'll also receive a Harvard transcript along with the student evaluation written by your instructor. I cannot tell you how many students come and take courses and say, I'm 100% decided. I'm going to study this in college. Or in the inverse, I really thought I wanted to do this, and now I know I absolutely do not. So it's really invaluable. Just as Mr. Hollinger was saying, check out what works for you and what may not be a good fit. It's very, very important. And our program staff works really hard with our residential and our activity staff to really provide a well-rounded experience for our students. It's really nice to explore not only the academic piece, but also our passport program, where students can choose the activities they want to go to, although it is mandatory fun. So they really have they have intentional interactions with their proctors, which is another word we use here at Harvard. Most universities call them RAs. We call them proctors here. So they have these these intentional interactions with them. And then they go to college readiness or academic exploration events, trips, social events. And it really makes for a well-rounded student. And you get to learn both inside and outside of the classroom.
Beautiful answer. Thank you so much, Dr. Newcomb. And I think that's actually the perfect way to conclude this session, that when you join us for Harvard Summer School, you're not only investing in you and your academic experience within the classroom, but we really want you to learn balance. We want you to learn what excites you, what your passion is, both inside and outside of the classroom as well. And I think all three of our program options, our 2-week pre-college program and our 4 and 7-week secondary school programs, really marry those two concepts together in a beautiful way. So once again, thank you, Mr. Hollinger, and thank you, Dr. Newcomb, for joining us. And thank you to all of you wonderful attendees for your really thoughtful, insightful questions. So to wrap us up, I'm going to reshare my screen and provide you with some contact information. So if you have any questions for us, you're able to do that. So let me just go ahead and reshare my screen now. Okay, there we go. So if we did not get to your question tonight, we had so many amazing questions, and really thank you so much for your great submissions. But if we did not get to your question, or if more arise on the way, again, please feel free to contact us at inquiry@summer.harvard.edu, or you can call us at 617-495-4024. So that's up on the screen now. If you need it, please also make sure to follow us on social media. You can scan the QR code right in the center of your screen there, and you'll have access to all of our channels. On those channels, we share testimonials from students, application tips, and reminders. So if you're on Instagram all day like me, then you'll be able to see that right up in your feed. And we also share day in the life student perspectives, so that's pretty cool to see as well. So you can also keep an eye on your inbox for emails from us. Again, the recording of tonight's webinar will be emailed to you within about 1 week, hopefully sooner. It will also be available on the Harvard Summer School YouTube page and the event page you used to register this evening. We're going to basically plaster it around, so you'll find it everywhere. Lastly, we'd like you to know that we'll be joining our friends from the Association for Pre-College Program Directors at their upcoming virtual summer program fairs. So we invite you to join us at our booth on Wednesday, December 11th, 2024, from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and/or Saturday, January 11th, 2025, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We really love to see you all there. We're going to answer some questions, provide some more information. And so please stay tuned for more information to come. We'll send out an email when the registration for both of those events is available. So this concludes tonight's presentation. Thank you once again for joining us from all over the world tonight, especially those of you in some rough time zones. We super appreciate you. We look forward to receiving your applications starting on December 2nd, and we hope to see you all this coming summer. Good night.